Okay, now that our reporter has given us the audio track they want to use for this package and the sound bites that they want to use, which, by the way, is typical in the news business. In the news business, the reporter will log your footage after a shoot and go through the sound bites that you got when you were out and about meeting different people and interviewing, and they will decide what will be used in the package. Sometimes they'll also suggest some B-roll that might be used. But for the most part, usually your timeline will look like this after you're done with the reporter suggestions, and it's up to you as the editor to fill in these gaps. So we look here at the beginning of our story. Our story begins with the reporter speaking, and that's over here on track 5. And it's about the airplanes, these B-17 and B-25 bombers that are coming into the San Diego airport as a tribute to the local veterans. So we need to open up this package with kind of a bright parade type shot to kind of set the scene and also hold the viewer and create interest. So that will then carry on into the package and make them watch the story. So this B-roll folder we have here that I created is full of all of non-talking head footage. What I mean by that is just footage that we went around and shot with the camera. And this first clip that we have here is this B-17 landing, which is over here now loaded up in the viewer screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to add that and put that as our first shot to go into the package. So we're going to add this edit here, and then to fill in the gap, I'm just going to drag it over and make sure it fills correctly. And then what we'll do is we will play the timeline here from the beginning and just make sure this edit looks good before I move on to the next one. We are watching history. Touching down in San Diego today, the B-17 Stratofortress and the B-25 Mitchell were common sights in the skies during World War II. Okay, so we have a little bit of NAT sound there from both aircraft landing. It's a little bit loud, but we'll go back and adjust the audio later. Next clip that we need to add, we're going to move the timeline to the next spot. And let's play the audio track here and see what the reporter's talking about so we can find the right B-roll to add to it. Questions of the men who now fly them, the members of the Commemorative Air Force in Mesa, Arizona. Okay, so it's talking about the men and women that fly these B-17 and B-25 aircraft. And I'm looking here at our B-roll screen, and I see a great shot here of a B-17 taxiing in. Our camera person was wonderful. They got out on the ramp, got this great shot of the ramp attendant like marshaling this airplane in. Let me just play a little bit of it for you, and you can see. And we got some great natural sounds of the propellers running and the engines running. So we're going to mark some in and out points here of this aircraft coming in. So I want to get a little bit of this marshaller or ramp attendant here flagging the airplane in. So we're going to back up. And we'll set our in point there. And we'll bring it through and set our out point there. All right, we'll add it in like that. We'll just make sure we fill up the gaps and we have the clip to the full length. All right, so let's play that and see how that fits. Okay, so we have one problem there. Our NAT sounds are a little too loud. So right away, we're just going to back some of these audio tracks down a little here. Now, you might ask, you look here at my screen, you see there's 3 audio tracks. Depending on what type of news camera you're using to shoot this footage, typically ENG news cameras usually have 2 to 4 tracks. Most of the time, track 1 is usually set as the microphone audio or your wireless audio. That's either from the stick microphone the reporter uses or the lavalier microphone that the reporter will also use to clip onto a person they're interviewing. Typically, track 2 is usually the shotgun microphone located on the camera. And tracks 3 and 4, if a camera does have it, could be supplemental audio. Now this footage here, we had some extra time. We had another audio person actually with us. So we have here on track 1, reporter mic audio, which happened to be on at the time. That's why we're showing levels on it. The shotgun audio on line 2. And on track number 3, we have the audio from the sound person. So they're great audio sources, all of them. I think I'm going to make a creative suggestion to keep those audio sources on the timeline. So we're just going to back them all down. It also gives the a nice effect of the airplane pulling in, hearing the sound coming from different angles. It gives that effect that you're really there. So let's see if this is enough turning it down just for editing's sake right now. Versus the Commemorative Air Force in Mesa, Arizona. Okay, that's okay for now. We'll tweak this later. Again, audio is kind of the finishing touches, but for right now, as far as the storytelling is concerned, this looks like a great little piece.